So, the Windy City is one of those places we've been looking at for a while now, and honestly, it shouldn't have taken us this long to get there. The sights, the sounds, the architecture, and yes, the food make Chicago stand out among other major cities in the US. Lucky for us, we won a city pass to Chicago like 3 years ago that we never used. And when Sarah wrote them an email to see if we could still use the pass, surprisingly, they said yes. By the way, you probably noticed Sarah isn't here. She's actually in Seattle for her best friend's bridal shower. So in order to make Chicago work, we're flying in from different airports using FareDrop deals that happen to line up perfectly.
So we're gonna utilize the heck out of the city pass and go full-blown tourist. And of course, we're gonna be tracking all of our expenses, including our flight deals, so that you can see exactly what this trip is gonna cost us.
Welcome to Chicago Midway.
This is so funny because I don't know if I've been so like giddy to step foot in a place in like a couple of trips, and it's like Chicago. It's in my home country, but I've always wanted to come here. Every time I get to a new city, I'm reminded that I am a city girl. I can go on van life trips around Iceland or getaways in the mountains, but I love a city. Welcome to the room. We are staying at Freehand Chicago. I'll have to double check how much this is, but this is it. It's like a bed tucked in the corner here. It is a queen bed, which is great. A little storage, a little workstation. That lighting looks terrible, but this is the view. Not too shabby. And this is the bathroom. I am obsessed with this tile. I really like this color. But yeah, we have a toilet and, oh, a shower. There we go. Okay, so Tony gets here in like an hour or two, so I didn't want to get a full-on meal, and there's so many restaurants around our hotel that look so good. So I went to Joe and the Juice, which I will admit I found on TikTok, and I wanted to go. I knew it was going to be overpriced juices, but I wanted to try it. I got a ginger shot and a protein shake. This is actually really good. It was very expensive, but it tastes like if you eat a bowl of Cocoa Puffs and like the milk that's left over at the end. That's what this tastes like. I got something to hold me over, and all that's left for me is to just wait until Tony gets here. Hopefully he doesn't get delayed.
All right, just arrived in Chicago. Save myself an Uber ride and take the train. Don't know how this is gonna work out, but it's $2.50 to get me downtown, so. First hour of being in Chicago, and I am thoroughly impressed, at least with this area of downtown. Skyline might be putting New York to shame, I'm sorry. So the plan was to meet up with Sarah before it got dark, but I was entirely too distracted by the skyline, and before you know it, the sun was setting.
You walk on your phone all day?
No, just when I got here.
Spider-Man.
Your point.
It does look like we're matching.
This is red. Found Sarah.
Hello.
It's like 8:30 at night, so we're gonna find some food. I think the first thing we're gonna try and do is find pizza because it's Chicago and why not, right? Everywhere I looked that was talking about the best deep dish pizza said there was two places that are really at the top of the list, Lou Malnati's and Pequod's. So we're at Lou Malnati's. Our waiter said to get the spinach stuffed bread, which we got now, and it's absolutely delicious. Now we're waiting for our deep dish pizza. Should mention too before the debate starts in the comments that we picked this place because it was the closest to where we're staying. So it's not like we like one or the other, it just happens to be the closest. I will say though, definitely a spot worth the hype. This cheese just kept stretching forever, and some people might not like that. But for me, I've always wanted to do that cartoon-like cheese pull.
That's a thumbnail.
Cheesy. think our stuffed garlic bread and deep dish pizza ran us a little over $40.
On our first official morning in Chicago, we kicked things off by grabbing breakfast at a spot around the corner called Goddess and the Baker. Perfect place to fuel up before heading down to the Riverwalk.
So we just had breakfast at Goddess and the Baker, and it was pretty good. Love the atmosphere here. If you like pastries, this is gonna be a place you wanna stop at. We ended up getting like the Goddess breakfast, which is pretty standard, bacon, eggs, toast. We got turkey bacon. They do have a lot of vegan and gluten-free options too, so that they have a little bit of everything for everyone. But the best part might have been the drinks. And now that that's done, we're gonna try to explore the Magnificent Mile and the Riverwalk before probably doing like an architectural boat tour.
Crazy times, can't you feel it? Is there a reason for it? Maybe take a ride on this pipe train.
So we are on a 90-minute architecture boat tour, and I have heard nothing but incredible things. Everyone I ask of what to do in Chicago, they say you need to do the architecture tour, which is probably not something I would have like jumped at normally, but I think it's supposed to tell you about like not only the history of Chicago, but of all of the buildings and kind of what to look out for. So it should be good.
Sucks in the breezes. The United Center of
We sailed up and down the Chicago River, getting a completely different perspective of the city from the architectural tour. Our guide, Ed, had a knack for storytelling, pointing out the most iconic buildings and landmarks, weaving in their history and how they've shaped the skyline of Chicago.
Coming next on your left is a two-tone gray building.
If you haven't done one of these boat tours yet, trust me, it's a must. We cruised past all of the iconic buildings like the Civic Opera House and, of course, the Sears Tower. The tour was 90 minutes, but honestly, it felt like it flew by. We would later find out that our city pass actually did include a free architectural tour, which definitely could have saved us some cash, but oh well. Honestly, we have no regrets. The views from the boat were totally worth it, and we were just a short walk away from Navy Pier afterwards, so it worked out in the end.
What'd you think of the tour?
Very cute and informative. Ed is a sharpshooter.
Yeah, I thought he was an architect professor, because I think he was a professor.
He said he studied urban studies in
These
college.
urban studies, yeah. How much was it?
$50 a person. 90 minutes.
90 minutes. Not bad.
While we stroll through Navy Pier, let me quickly explain City Pass. Our tickets offer savings of up to 50% on admission to the most famous attractions in 16 of the most visited destinations in North America, like Chicago.
After leaving Navy Pier, we walked about a mile to get to another popular Chicago stop.
Beans, beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So eat your beans at every meal.
Welcome to the Bean.
Classic.
As you can see, it is quite busy.
I wonder if it'd be half as popular if it wasn't reflective and you
Yeah.
couldn't stare at yourself in it.
Ah, yes, the Bean. Or as the fancy folks call it, Cloud Gate. This 110-ton marvel of modern art is truly a sight to behold. Just look at that reflective shine. A delightful destination, kids and grown-ups alike. Perfect for anyone who enjoys a good, long stare at their own reflection. A masterpiece of gleaming, self-obsessed wonder.
Everyone said, if you come to Chicago, you gotta get a Chicago-style hot dog. So there are a couple places that come highly recommended. Gene and Jude's, Superdog, and Portillo's. Now, Mr. Ed said Portillo's is his favorite, and then someone else in our DM said get the chocolate shake. So hopefully when we get that, we won't be too full because we have a baseball game to go to tonight. I'll say one thing, this is the most themed, unique looking restaurant I've been to in a long time, I think. First up, chocolate cake shake. Yo, this tastes like a chocolate cake.
I would hope so.
No, I mean like, with like cake chunks and everything in it. It's crazy. It's like they took a chocolate cake, put it in a blender, and made it a shake. Try that.
Oh, that's real good. This is a small. Small milkshake, small water.
Now to try the Chicago-style hot dog. It's an all-beef frankfurter, poppy seed bun, yellow mustard, neo-green sweet pickle relish, chopped onions, tomato slices,
a lot of flavor going on.
a dill pickle spear, pickled sport peppers, and celery salt.
Wow. That's pretty good. I never would put these things on myself.
What do you usually put on?
I want to talk about it.
A little context here. Sarah doesn't like to put mustard on her hot dogs, and I like to joke and say that's un-American.
Doesn't matter. Ooh, a little spicy. I dig it.
2 hot dogs, 2 fries, and a small chocolate cake shake for $19. We have a few more things to do tonight. One, we're gonna catch a game at Wrigley, because why not? It's the Cubs and it's Wrigley Field, it's historic. But also, we're gonna grab another slice of pizza, because Chicago is not only known for deep dish, they have really good thin slice pizza too. Travel tip, if you ride the L, just know it gets crazy packed at certain times of day, especially if there's a sporting event happening. Change of plans, pizza place is closed, doesn't open till Wednesday, so here we are at the stadium, going straight to the game.
Now, we'd love to show you all the highlights, but let's be real, we're not trying to have the MLB knocking on our door, so you'll just have to take our word for it. The energy was electric. So basically, the Cubs got a hit. We all jumped up, cheering like we just won the World Series. We soaked in the atmosphere, belted out Take Me Out to the Ball game during the 7th inning stretch, and then decided to head out. Little did we know, they went on to win 7-3. Guess we brought the luck with us.
All right, so it's day 2 and Sarah's convinced me to go to the top of Sears Tower. Sears Tower has this thing at the top where you can look out through the glass over the city, and it's really scary. I don't know why I always want to do things with heights. Actually, I do know why. It's like basically pushing myself to overcome my fears, even though I never really overcome them. At least every time I get a little bit more confident. So today that's what we're gonna do, probably find some food, and then maybe we'll go to the planetarium. We made our way to 360 Chicago, and here we go again. We're going up 1,030 feet in the air.
All right, thank you.
And you'll have to excuse me as I settle my nerves for this next bit.
How you doing? Scary?
I feel a lot better than I would normally. I can actually look down.
It's not sweating at all.
Yeah.
Still can't believe that's a lake.
Yeah.
So we are at the 360 observation deck. This is also home to the tilt if you want a little more adrenaline or want to spend some extra cash.
Won't be doing that.
Does not want to do either of those things. But the views up here are spectacular. I will be very interested to compare this to the sky deck when these two are also included in our city pass.
It's really nice because no matter where you are up here, you get a really cool view. And it's nice too that the clouds aren't out because it is so clear out here. This side, you get a nice cool view of Lake Michigan. On the other side, you get all the skyscrapers. So it's like, no matter where you walk around here, you get like some pretty epic view of the skyline.
Spontaneous change of plans. One of you all actually DM'd me on Instagram this morning and let me know that Special Olympics Illinois is holding a duck derby where they are going to release 100,000 rubber ducks into the river, and it's a little bit of a race and a whole lot of fundraiser for a really great cause. So here we are. You don't realize just how crazy 100,000 rubber ducks looks until you see them dumped into the river. Oh, and for anyone wondering, don't worry, the ducks are all carefully directed down the river during the race. Once they're dropped in, they make their way to the finish line. Volunteers and staff are stationed along the river to make sure every single duck gets collected. So you don't get to keep the ducks. They are washed off and recycled for the next event. That is a lot of ducks, though.
What's that one?
Doug.
So, not ashamed to say that a big reason we've become more interested in Chicago again is because we've been obsessed with the show The Bear.
Shitty but better, chef. The chef.
Heard, chef.
Yes, chef.
Plus, the Italian beef sandwich is like a culinary staple here. So what better place to get one than the very spot that inspired the show? Made our way to Mr. Beef's. Mr. Beef's. Mr. Beef's got 2 beefs, dip, sweet, hot on the side. There's really not much to an Italian beef. It's just beef, broth, and bread. You can throw on some peppers and cheese if you're feeling fancy, but the magic is in the simplicity. It's like a flavor bomb in every bite, perfectly soaked in that savory broth. And somehow, despite how basic it sounds, it's one of those things you just have to try to fully understand how good it is.
That's so good dipped. The beef broth just soaks into the bread.
I don't know if I'm hungry or what, but this is bomb. You can argue there might be better beef sandwiches at other places, but for us, we had to come here. We're happy to report the hype is real. The Italian beef sandwich is nothing short of legendary. The 2 sandwiches cost us $26. For the amount of people that they have coming in and out of there, this guy's pretty nice. The line's out the door right now, and he was saying that this is a slow day. Usually the line is like around the corner.
There's a man on that building.
So this day didn't go exactly as planned. Remember earlier I said we were supposed to head to Sears Tower? Yeah, that didn't happen. But after a few detours and a trip to Mr. Beef, we finally made our way here. As if one ridiculously high overlook wasn't good enough, we're at Willis Tower, formerly known as Sears Tower, to go to the sky deck. And
I think they have a bar if you're nervous.
yeah, you can tell I'm fumbling through my words a little bit.
You're nervous
Starting
about
to get
this
a little
one?
bit
Why?
nervous. Just the glass part.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think it's fine, but yeah, the glass part might hurt me a little.
So don't worry, each layer of the sky deck is composed with 3 half-inch layers of glass.
In this fancy immersive experience, you get to walk through the train.
It's much more spacious than a regular
Than the normal train.
Whoa, trippy. It's like a dolly zoom in my eyeballs. Okay, so I knew the Willis Tower was going to be cool, but I wasn't expecting that with the journey up to the sky deck. It's like this mini museum as you're making your way to the elevator.
This is kind of trippy.
We've had 3 on this list: Italian beef, deep dish, hot dog. Plus, seeing old photos of Chicago back when the tower was first built, total nostalgia vibes.
To become an architectural icon. The World's Fair of 1893 opens, hosting beautiful white buildings, dazzling new inventions debut, such as
This one's making me slightly more nervous than the other one because you can feel like the slight vibrations and the movements on the floor. And it's making me a little uneasy. Sorry, I was a bit too nervous to film, but you can have a good look at what stands between us and the streets of Chicago. Don't play with me. Don't drop that, because it's going to take us all out. You notice I'm standing like halfway in between.
Come on.
I haven't looked down. I looked down the first time, that was it. This is all that holds you, this between you and the city. Literally the pavement.
I don't think it's reassuring. Real quick before we move on, let me tell you how we booked these deals to Chicago from literally opposite coasts. First, we were sent a FareDrop deal from Baltimore to Chicago for $105. Chicago being high on our bucket list, we knew we wanted to make this trip happen, but I also knew that I was going to have to fly out of Seattle. So I headed straight to the deal search feature on the FareDrop website to browse dates when flight costs would be low for that route. Deal search is one of the many features that FareDrop members unlock when they subscribe to the Pro plan. So whether you're open to letting the deal decide your vacation, or if you have a specific destination in mind, FareDrop has got you covered. Scan the QR code or head to the link in the description to start saving money on your next trip.
Feeling like pros now using the L, but we felt like such big idiots when we first got here because you don't have to use the terminal to get your ticket. You can actually just use your card, your credit card, and you can just go right to the gate. We weren't the only ones though, because there were a lot of people here for the baseball game that couldn't figure it out either. So, little tourist travel hack. Locals are probably like, you guys are idiots.
The train is by far the easiest way to get around, and we ended up taking it to a recommended breakfast spot before finding our way to Chicago's museum campus. All right, so this is Lou Mitchell's, apparently the best breakfast on the planet. Now, I'm not sure about the planet part, but we'll give it damn good status. The food here was seriously on point.
We ended up getting corned beef hash, side of bacon, orange juice, coffee, eggs Benedict.
Eat some pepper. And 2 donut holes.
And 2 donut holes. Large breakfast. Ended up costing us $50.
Solid.
Pretty good corned beef hash.
Classic diner breakfast.
Classic diner. We picked an interesting week to be in Chicago. So we just missed Lollapalooza by a day, and now it's Chicago Navy Week. So
There's a water and air show this weekend.
And there's a water and air show this weekend. So you can hear like the Blue Angels flying around the city. We could see them a little bit. They flew past us a little bit.
Loud.
They're loud.
Tony was a sailor, in case you didn't know.
I was a sailor, in case you didn't know.
I like calling him shipmate when I want to get under his skin.
So our pass not only gets us into a bunch of different museums, but also gets us into all like the exhibits. Also, how's this for a backdrop? Pretty cool, right?
If you've only got time for one stop in the museum campus, this is where you need to be. We decided to camp out here and let the other attractions slide.
All life evolves.
We don't typically gravitate towards museums unless they're super interactive, and this one is plenty interactive. So if you're like us and need a little bit more hands-on action, you're gonna love it.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
Compsognathus.
Okay.
Triceratops, because it has Sarah in it.
Personally, my favorite's been the Velociraptor ever since I first watched Jurassic Park.
Clever girl.
But the T-Rex is cool too. This is Sue, the T-Rex. She's physically the largest Tyrannosaurus Rex specimen ever discovered. She a chunky girl.
Yeah, she is.
Sue was eating good. Our favorite room in the museum was hands down the exhibit on blood.
Scientists believe that the animal is actually a coyote suffering from mange.
It even had an entire section on the history of vampires.
Do you think they have the colons on here?
No. Which of course left Sarah a little bit disappointed because there was no mention of Twilight.
Not Edward Cullen. Vampire Diaries. I will not stand for the Twilight erasure in this exhibit.
She's still not over it. Classic. I, on the other hand, love the homage to the OG vampires. Sometimes you don't need to go inside to enjoy a place. Sometimes you just need a great view and a bit of relaxation. My idea of relaxation involves ice cream. So,
Look at it.
we're gonna get some ice cream. Now, usually this would be my idea. This is Sarah's idea, as you can see how excited she is.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Thank you. Okay, $17.86.
Now that we have our ice cream, how many times do you think Sarah can say the word ridiculous?
This is ridiculous.
To be fair, the word is fitting.
It smells so good. Yeah. Here's the side. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
I don't even know what the flavors are. It looks like chocolate,
I do.
strawberry.
Chocolate, strawberry, Palmer House, pistachio, and orange sherbet. You're really dripping. Superman and birthday cake. I'm a 8-year-old boy.
Each flavor is different, so it's like a completely different taste. This is the sherbet. And then you get pistachio.
Oh, you spat.
Sorry. Then you get pistachio, then you get the strawberry and the chocolate. It's like a fancy Neapolitan.
To any youths watching this is what you get to look forward to in adulthood. A giant ice cream cone at 4 p.m. before you've had dinner.
We knew we couldn't leave Chicago without at least one more slice of pizza. And deep dish is iconic, but it's not the only style of pizza here. So I heard about this spot that's been rising fast, literally and figuratively. It's called Zaza's. It's fairly new, but people are already raving about it. And you know me, if there's any hype around pizza, I gotta see what the fuss is about. We ended up getting a pie way larger than we can eat because that's what we usually do. But this one was a hot honey pepperoni pie, which is basically a pepperoni pizza topped with ricotta, basil, and hot honey. All of this cost us 30 bucks. Technically, it's New York style pizza, but like I talked to several people and they were like, if you have time, go check out Zaza's because the pizza's worth it.
To wrap up the night, we caught a show at Second City, the legendary comedy club where legends like Tina Fey and Steve Carell all got their start. Of course, filming inside was a no-go, but trust us, our faces hurt from laughing so hard.
Did you enjoy the show?
Crying, laughing the whole time.
So how much did this trip cost us? Well, in 4 nights, we spent a little over $1,500. You know how people visit a place when the weather is great and think, oh, I can move here. That was us in Chicago. We loved it. But with that, there's one last thing we need to share.
About 7 months ago, we signed a contract to travel the world for 6 months exclusively on FareDrop flight deals, and that 6 months is officially up. Huge, huge thank you, every thank you in the world to FareDrop, Daily Drop, Karen and Nate especially for making this opportunity, and it's been incredible getting to know you all as well.
We really appreciate everyone that's viewed our videos from the beginning, and if you downloaded the FareDrop app because of one of our videos, then leave a comment down below.
While our journey with FareDrop is over for now, actually it's kind of not because we're still booking trips with utilizing the FareDrop app because we love it that much. But we are still on the internet. We make our own travel videos on our own YouTube channel, The Detour Duo. It's The Detour Duo on pretty much every social media that exists on this planet. So if you like what you see and want to continue keeping up to date with our adventures and where we're at in the world, make sure you follow us on those other platforms. Oh, hold on. One second. Someone wants to say bye. Bye.
He's not having it.
Can you do the... Someone wants to say bye. Say bye, everyone. Thank you. We love you.
Otto.
Put your hand to the camera.
God.